Hi guys, so basically this is a documentary that I'll be doing. I'll be doing a two-part documentary about Black Lives Matter. Part number one is going to be filmed in East London. I'm going to get the perspective for the people that live in East London. It's one of the most diverse multicultural areas, so we're going to get the perspective that people that live around there. Part number two is going to be filmed in Romford and maybe further down Romford, where the majority are white people, and we are going to get the perspective of what they think about this scenario. So first of all, we're going to start for part one, that's filmed around East London in Hackney and Stratford. Have you ever been stopped by the police?
No.
Nope. Can you speak a bit louder, please? Sorry.
No.
Okay.
I have not.
What about you, darling?
No.
Never. All right, cool. Question number two. What do you think about black people getting killed by American police?
I think, well, it's obviously shocking and disgusting.
Okay.
And, I mean, where to even begin? I suppose it's a shock, I guess, to see that it keeps happening, and even though it's really well publicised in lots of cases and everyone's always really shocked and disgusted, it still keeps happening. And police officers still keep getting away with it, and it's just hard to sort of comprehend how that's even allowed to happen. Like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you feel, darling?
The same. I mean, it just feels like it's such a familiar narrative now, and yet it never gets less shocking. And what happened recently, the video, I mean, I almost didn't want to watch the video, but I did watch the video, and it was absolutely heartbreaking. And even though I didn't want to watch the video, it feels important that people watch it and see what it was really like, because it's completely unambiguous. You can't question it, I don't think, really, what went wrong and how bad that was, and it's so obviously a criminal act.
Okay, thank you.
And sorry.
No, that's right, carry on.
No, I was just going to say to feel able to, even like in this day and age when you know everyone's filming everything anyway, to still feel like you could just do that without, like, there's obviously a serious lack of accountability that police officers feel empowered to even do that in front of all these cameras.
Yeah.
And the rage was so palpable, and it was white rage as well as black rage, wasn't it? The people that were behind the camera going, "What the fuck are you doing?" Sorry, I don't know if I can swear, but
That's okay.
but the people that were saying, you know, "What the hell are you doing?" It was people of every background and every colour saying it was disgusting to everybody.
Okay, thank you. Question number three. Have you ever been racial profiled in your life?
Well, I'm white, so.
But have you had any experience in your life that you thought you was being racial profiled?
No.
Nope. Okay.
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. I think as a white person, it's not something that's so much on your radar.
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you? Have you
No.
ever been racial profiled in your
No,
life?
I think there've been experiences when the opposites happened, where, like, not, you know, if you're in Tesco and you accidentally put something in your bag and you walk out and the alarm goes off, no one's going to run after you. Like, almost you think, well, someone should run after me, and they haven't.
Yeah.
And you
Well, like,
wonder-
actually, yeah, like, because I went to America once, and, you know, like, you never, as a white person, there's never any suspicion at the border or anything like that. So I suppose probably I have been racially profiled, but, like, the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think there are differences between humans depending on the colour of their skin?
Oh, God. Well, no, not inherently, but obviously differences have been created by human beings for so long that, you know, like, there's certainly a different inheritance, a different cultural inheritance, depending on the colour of your skin. But no, not like a sort of inherent, you know, personality tendencies or anything like that. I think that's bullshit. But obviously there are differences in experience, and it becomes very harmful if you say that, you know, oh, we're all just the same, it's all fine, and I don't see colour and all that kind of thing.
What about you?
No, the same. I feel like she's doing the answers really well. Just use those answers. No differences, but yeah, I guess it would be very naive to say that the lived experience is not different. I'd be interested to know how many people you interview that think that there are differences.
Some people have.
Are there people in East London that say that?
Some people have mixed. They have mixed answers towards this question, but it depends. What do you think about black people getting killed by American police?
It's disgusting. It's systematic, and, you know, like, I don't really care what people's opinions are.
Yeah.
I can decipher for myself.
Yeah.
It's pretty systematic. I'm here in London, but I see. I'm here in London, but I see anyone getting killed in the States as my own brother, so I'm not disconnected from it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's dark time, man. Like,
Totally agree. Question number 3: have you ever been racial profiled in your life?
Yeah, that day when I got stopped the first time. I'll give you another example.
Okay.
Real quick, I was on a course the other day.
Okay.
I work in the gas sector. And
Okay.
I find that these training centres are pretty much like, old white boys.
Yeah.
And their firms. And yeah, long story short, I could tell in the mannerisms of how they dealt with me that, again, and that in contrast to how they deal with their own.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's key differences. So
Okay.
racially profiled for sure.
And how did you feel when you was racially profiled inside? How did you feel inside as a person?
Inside, it's challenging, but I'm a realist. Plus, I know how it goes, and my character's pretty granite, so I just kind of do what I need to do and just, you know what I mean. So, but my issue is that those that are lesser in character, or those that are more prone to getting caught up in or can't deal with it, that's where I take issue. Others, my brothers and sisters.
Okay. Question number 4. Do you believe police are only targeting black and coloured people, or do you think this is propaganda created by the media?
Nah. Like I said, I feel like it's systematic, and they are. Not to say that other people from other ethnicities don't get targeted, but all the sources I've come across have led me to believe that black and brown people are the key targets. By the police, for sure.
Okay. And I've got 2 more questions, and I'm gonna let you go, brother. Yeah.
Go.
So so 1 more. No, 2 more. Sorry. Do you think police are? Do you think police brutality happens only in America, or do you think it happens in the UK? If so, do you think they're targeting only coloured and black people?
I think it happens both.
Yeah.
It's definitely more prevalent in the US, but I think there's some examples over here.
Yeah. The Mark Duggan case, that was a serious one.
That was definitely influential, and everyone knows about that.
Yeah.
And there's been history. It's been documented in the 80s, I believe, and this happens, isn't it? We just don't hear about it.
Yeah, it's not. I think
down.
police brutality. Do you think it's not as exposed in the UK compared to the USA?
Sure. It's definitely more under the rug, whereas it's so prevalent in the US. That's why everyone hears about it. But the beauty of this era, this time, everyone's got a camera, so people can't get away with nothing. So everything's out there. But it definitely happens, and I'm sure in years to come, hopefully not, but things will come to light a bit more.
Okay. And the last question is: do you think there are differences between humans depending on the colour of their skin?
I do believe different people, ethnicities, shades, there's differences, but we are all the same. We're made of the same stuff. We're the same species, essentially. So there is no real core difference. But we have our subtle differences in each, and that's the whole issue. Like a tiger doesn't take up issues with a lion. They understand they're both cats and they have their role to play. Whereas humans, like I guess free will and whatever else has just caused us to divide and all kinds of shit. I'm not gonna. But fundamentally, we're all made of the same stuff.
Yes, sir.
There's differences, but we're fundamentally not different.
Okay. Thank you very much, brother. Yeah.
No worries.
Take care.
Love.
Right. I'm here with.
Toig from Hackney, but not Hackney, Irish man.
Okay. So where you originally from, brother?
Dublin.
All right, cool. Guys, I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions. Is that okay? Yeah.
Yeah, 100.
All right. Question number 1: Have you ever been stopped by the police?
Yeah.
What happened and what was your experience?
To be honest, it wasn't that bad. I didn't experience much abuse. No problems really. But it wasn't that deep.
Okay. And when you got stopped by the police, how did you feel as a person?
I didn't feel insecure. I was killed.
Yeah.
I was killed.
Okay, cool. Question number 2: What do you think about black people getting killed by American police?
Disgusting. It's foil.
Yeah.
Foil. And it is. It's easier for them to get away with pulling the trigger on a black man than it is a white. Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Alright, cool. And then I'm gonna ask you another question. Question number 3: Have you ever been racial profiled in your life?
100%. Yeah. I'm an Irish man living in England.
Yeah.
I've always lived in Kilburn and Hackney. It's multicultural.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. no problems. I now live out in Zone 6 on the edge of London. I can't get served in any pub in Enfield, yeah, because I don't know if they think I'm a gypsy, a traveller, nothing, yeah. Door bags, so we still getting it as well.
Yeah.
And that's when I realised it's still active in this country.
Okay.
It's still active. I'm a white man. I'm walking into the pub. She goes, all right, darling, what can I get you? I said, give us a pint of Guinness.
Yeah.
She's about to pull a pint. The minute she heard the accent, oh, sorry, can't serve it. Why can't you serve me?
Yeah.
Why can't you serve me? What?
Yeah.
Oh, you think I'm not a traveller.
Yeah.
I'm just an Irish fella. But even if I was a traveller,
Yeah.
give me the point.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
Yeah.
What's the issue?
Everyone should be treated equal.
Equal, man.
Yeah. All right, cool. Question number 4. Do you believe police are only targeting black and coloured people, or do you think this is propaganda created by the media?
I don't think it's propaganda, but I do feel like where I'm from,
Yeah.
it's not a race thing, it's not a culture thing, yeah?
Uh-huh.
It's your area. Where you're from, you're gonna get picked up. If you come out of this estate, you're
Yeah.
gonna get picked up, whether you're black or white. But in this country,
Yeah.
the problem what they did is, they put all the new immigrants into one area. And when
Okay.
you do that, what you create?
Yeah, havoc.
But you create a culture, but you create a ghetto.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're segregating.
Yeah.
You put the Muslims down in Whitechapel. Yeah. You put the Irish up in Hackney.
Yeah.
You put the Jamaicans down in Dalston. You
Yeah.
understand? You're
Yeah.
segregating. You're segregating. You're making a divide.
Yeah.
That's not us. We didn't choose to go here, there, or anywhere. You, as a controlling power, you are dividing the people and creating a tension.
Just like they did with African countries.
Everything,
Okay.
man, everything.
Question number 5. Do you think police brutality happens only in America, or do you
No.
think it happens in the UK? If
Happens
so,
everywhere.
do you think they're only targeting black and coloured people only?
I don't think they do only target.
Yeah.
But if they can see you're a white man like me, you're
Yeah.
getting it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they put you in the same category. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're fucking Charles Albert from South Kensington, you're blessed.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
But I don't think it's just targeting them, but it is wider targeting them. 100%. 100%.
Then the last question is, sir, do you think there are differences between humans depending on the colour of their skin?
Nah, man, we all got lungs, heart, veins, arteries. We all one.
Yeah.
We all one, and this is the turning point for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're seeing white people coming out and defending Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the change that needed to happen. I'm Irish. We're known as the blacks of Europe. You understand? We was the first slave.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why we're linked to you boys, African boys. We can relate with you. You understand?
Brother, if you had one message, yeah, to racism or people that are racist, what would your message
I
be?
wouldn't even waste my breath. Your days are numbered. You're done. You're done.
Thank you. Thank you very much, bro, man. Thank you, man. That was good. What do you think about black people getting killed by the American police?
It's just injustice.
Okay, and can you elaborate on that, please?
Just because of our race, we're treated different.
Okay.
Which is unfair.
Okay.
And there's not much we can do because it's police who
Yeah.
are supposed to protect us.
Yeah.
100%. I think it should have been left in the past,
Yeah.
and people aren't really aware of what's going on until like these days, and I think it should be stopped.
Okay, cool. Question number 3. Have you ever been racial profiled in your life? So basically, for example, when you go to school, has your teacher ever racial profiled you? Have they basically treated you different compared to other students in your class? Or maybe your neighbour, or when you jumped on a bus, or when you went to a cinema?
Yeah.
Okay. And how did you feel?
I wasn't surprised, but it's still very like hurtful. Like maybe if you walk into like a normal shop,
Okay.
people look at you differently because they think you're about to take something. And you're
Yeah.
like, it's just like hurtful because that's not how I was raised, but because of my skin colour and what I look like or my hair type,
Yeah.
people think that I'm automatically gonna do something like that. Yeah, it's just hurtful.
Okay, cool. Going to ask you some questions. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, sure.
No problem. Question number 1. Have you ever been stopped by the police?
No.
No. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Cool. Question number 2. What do you think about black people getting killed by American police?
It's horrendous.
Okay.
And heartbreaking.
Okay.
Makes me angry.
Can you speak up a bit, please? Sorry.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking, and it makes me feel incredibly angry.
Okay.
And at the same time, I would say
like it feels so different to here, but then it makes you think, well, what is happening in the UK, which might be, even if it's not people being killed, what is happening which is in some way connected to that.
Okay. Question number 3, have you ever been racial profiled in your life?
Not to my knowledge.
Not to your knowledge. Okay, cool. Question number 4, do you believe police are only targeting black people or coloured people, or do you think this is a propaganda created by the media?
I think from my knowledge, which I would say is maybe more limited than it should be, in the States especially, the racism is a really serious problem in terms of racism from the police. In the UK, I know less, and I would say it's less obvious. Whether that means that it doesn't, like, I would probably say that there will be, whether it's conscious or subconscious, there will be racial profiling, which is inappropriate. That's probably not strong enough, but yeah.
Question number 5, do you think police brutality happens only in America, or does it happen, or does it happen in the UK? If so, are they only targeting black and coloured people?
I would say, again, from my knowledge, which might be limited, police brutality would be too strong a word in the UK. That doesn't mean that there isn't some kind of racism which is bad and needs to be addressed, but I do think brutality is too strong. And that comes, I think mainly there's a big difference in the way that the police operate in the US and in the UK. And in the UK, the police's duty is to keep the public safe, and I think that is their legal obligation. I don't know if this is 100% correct, but in the US, it's to uphold law and order rather than protect public safety. And that means that their levels of aggression and escalation of action, I think, can be a lot stronger and more forceful, and that turns into brutality in a way that I don't think it does in the UK.
So question number 1, I'm gonna start off with you, Have you ever been stopped by the police?
Yes.
And why?
Well, I would like to say it's because of my skin colour. Wasn't really doing much, but got stopped by the police, got asked what I was doing. And I just had to explain myself, but they didn't really seem convinced.
Okay. And do you think you were stopped by the ethnic of your colour skin?
Yes.
Okay, what about you?
I have.
So you haven't experienced any other police stops? No. Question number 2, I'm gonna start with you, What do you think about black people getting killed by American police?
I think it's wrong because black people are being killed by American police. What for? For the skin colour, really. And it doesn't, your skin colour doesn't define who you are as a person.
Okay. What about you?
I think it's really wrong and cruel. I mean, there's no adjectives to really describe how awful it is. I feel like the police only do that just because of what they've seen and what they've heard, and they just they don't want to be the first one to be, killed or be attacked, so they just end up doing what they do, which is really unfair.
Okay. Question number 3, have you ever been racial profiled in your life? Racial profiled as if, for example, you have a job, your manager treats you different compared to your colleague, depending on your colour. You've jumped on a public transport, on the bus or on the train, and someone has treated you different compared to the person that's next to you.
Probably not in any workplaces, but every time that I've gone travelling, I've got on a plane and I have people looking at me differently. I've been stopped at the airport multiple times. I've been with friends that are white. They will be allowed to go straight through. I'd be stopped, I'd be time and time again, purely for my skin colour. So,
What about you? Have you ever been racial profiled in your life?
When I was a waitress, I always had to be in the back of the kitchen instead of actually serving food. They rather prefer someone who had, a clean face and, straight hair, this and that, rather than someone who's got curly hair or who's, very different and outgoing. So.
Okay. Question number 4. Do you think police are only targeting black and coloured people, or do you think this is propaganda created by the media?
No, I think police are treating coloured people and black people differently. Purely because you see like the punishment they get, and then you see the punishment like maybe a white person would get. It'd be completely different. You hear about police brutality all the time with black people and coloured people. They get heavier sentences. They get killed, and then you get like white people. They get off lightly.
So basically, a black person or a coloured person is more likely to get treated differently compared to a white person.
Oh, definitely.
If a black person commits an offence or a coloured person commits an offence, their sentence is more likely to be longer than a white person.
Oh, definitely.
Okay. What about you?
I think, like, as a person of colour, because we're not, you know, originally British or originally American, we all have like a certain vibe, we all have a certain culture to us. So not a lot of people will understand our culture, not even our own friends will really get our culture. So some people can take that the wrong way, and when they don't understand it, they end up acting out or reacting to a bad way. So it's just like, yeah.
Okay. Question number 5. Do you think police brutality happens only in America, or do you think it happens in the UK? If so, do you think they are targeting black and coloured people?
I think police brutality doesn't only happen in America. It does happen here in the UK. I feel like it's much more serious, heavier in America. In the UK, it does happen, but obviously most cops here, they don't carry guns. But they do have like the taser gun.
They're not as violent as well.
They're not as violent.
They're not as violent.
But okay, but is that from your experience? Like, do you think the police in the UK are not actually brutal? Do you think it's only in America? For example, when you see a lot of coloured people when they get stopped and searched by the police, not being rude, when you see the people that get stopped and searched, the majority are coloured coloured people.
100%.
You're less likely to see a white person get stopped by a police officer. You know what I mean? Okay, cool. And the last question is, do you think there are differences between humans depending on the colour of their skin?
No.
Nope.
No, because your colour doesn't define who you are, really.
Okay.
We all bleed the same blood.
Yeah.
You know, and we're all the same on the inside.
Yeah.
So what makes you different on the outside? What, because you're a different skin colour?
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, exactly the same. The words are out of my mouth.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What do you think about black people getting killed by American police?
I think it's just an issue with authority, man.
Okay.
These men think they have bare authority over these people, and then taking advantage of that, and then just like trigger happy, innit? Like guns first, don't think about anything, and just my own safety before your, you know, the job you're supposed to do, which is like serve and protect, right?
Yeah.
They always spout that all the time.
Yeah.
I think they basically just take advantage of the fact that they have power over people. The fact that you have a gun over someone else, that's power. It's that they're taking advantage of that. I think that's the main issue.
What about you, sir?
So, I mean, definitely I would say in America, the police over there are very, like, obviously, you know, there's a lot of racial divisions in America, isn't it?
Yeah.
One of the problems there, obviously, you know, we hear about black people getting, you know, profiled and being discriminated against a lot by the police.
Yeah.
We hear about that quite a lot. To a certain extent, I think it definitely comes down to racism. There's most definitely a lot of divides between the two races.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say two races, I mean like black people and white people, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, you see like all the time. There's, you know, it was a police officer that started. It was a police officer like doing brutality against a black man that started the whole Black Lives Matter thing. Was that what it was?
Yeah.
So, you know, to be honest, it just comes down to, I feel like they fear black people in a way.
Why'd you say that they fear black people?
To be honest, what it is, obviously, you know, your America to begin with was built on, let's say, Native American grounds, and they're not black to begin with. Let's say, to begin with, you know, majority of people in America are white. That's how it goes. To the best of my knowledge, I believe that's how it is. Majority of the people are white there.
Yes, sir.
So when they see a race that maybe potentially they haven't been living around for so long, could come down to fear of what they don't understand. So they see a lot of black people, they don't necessarily understand their culture. I say culture to a certain extent, but even though it's not so different, it just comes down to their skin is different than mine, so there could be something alien to me, like they're different, that you know, like it's just barriers between the two. Do you know, I feel like there's not enough communication.
Okay.
Between the two sides, you know, they don't understand. I feel like it comes down to lack of understanding.
I think there might be an issue with not enough people knowing other cultures as well.
Yeah.
Like let's say let's try and put ourselves in this cop situation then, yeah. Like he grows up with what you see in the media, right? You see like black people on the news doing weird shit and then get in trouble and stuff. You see like TV shows and shit depicting black people as a certain way and stuff like that. And maybe he isn't racist. Maybe he's just naturally been inclined to, whenever he sees a black person, he has to draw his gun out because otherwise he might be in danger, because he's seen maybe his fellow officers get shot down in it. I'm not gonna say that you know allows you to put a knee on his neck or whatever, right? Still, you have the power over them. You shouldn't be taking advantage of your power. But like, it could be said that the fact that these men grow up with the things that they grow up with determines how they act towards certain demographics, certain people, certain races.
Do you know what? One thing I'll say as well is, obviously, as you said, you know, you hear a lot in the news, and you know, you look on newspapers, you look on TV shows, and you look on newspapers. Anyway, the crime, what someone might perceive it as, is that crime is largely committed by black people as opposed to by white people.
Okay.
Because, I mean, personally, obviously, I won't say I'm aware of the statistics, like the specifics of how, like, of the comparisons between black crime and white crime.
Yeah.
But typically, when you hear about black crime, you think gangs, you think drugs, you think, you know, killings, stabbings.
Yeah, yeah.
There's an idea in your head that's already there, innit?
But then if you think about it, I think, all right, yes, everyone knows that there is black people committing crime, but there is white people committing crime as well. But I think the white crime does not get reported. For example, like, the police officer will more likely to stop a black person, maybe because of their skin, maybe because of the way they dress, and maybe they might think he's selling drugs or whatever.
Exactly.
But then if you look at a white person, if a white person, for example, is a rapist and they sexual abuse a child, they're more likely to get less of a sentence. But then if it's a coloured person commits the same crime, that coloured person will get perceived as a different person, and they will get a longer sentence. For example, if a black person kills another black person, or if for example, if a black person kills another black person, they see it as black on black crime. When an Asian person kills a non-Asian person, they see it as terrorism. So they define Asians as terrorists. As soon as you're a Muslim, straight away they perceive that all Muslims are terrorists. But then when a white person does a mass shooting in a school in America, they perceive him as mental ill. So the person's just mental ill. But then the same act, what he done, he's doing the same act what the coloured person done. So I think I don't think there's equality right now in terms of skin.
100%.
And I think we need to change the system. I'm going to ask you two more questions, brother. Do you think police brutality happens only in America, or do you think it happens in the UK? If so, are they only targeting black and coloured people?
I think there was like 2011 or something, there was some riots.
Yeah. Mark Duggan got killed and then there was riots.
Exactly, And I remember honestly, I think maybe like back in the 90s before I was born, there's probably much more police brutality going on in it. Which no one was recording. Like right now though, everyone's recording everything pretty much. Social media the way it is, everyone's recording everything. I think maybe right now we're seeing more of it now, but there was always the underlying, there was always police brutality, it's just people are seeing it now. I think it was Rodney King as well. That was in America as well. When that happened, there were massive riots happened in America, like every city. I think I just think it's being like shown to us now more. That's pretty much how it is. In terms of like happening in our country, our country or other countries, I don't know, bro. I don't see enough of it.
So you're saying that you don't see that much police brutality in the UK compared to the United States of America?
But that's what I'm saying though, like how it is in America. People just weren't recording the police brutality over there. Like it could be happening and I don't know. Exactly. Like you could tell me a bunch of stories. You told me yourself that you were stopped, searched. You tell me this, I like obviously now I know. Like that people are getting stopped and searched. People are getting like, how do I say it? Having these prejudices against them because of the way they look and stuff.
The last question is, guys, do you think there are differences between humans depending on the colour of their skin?
As I told you this as well off camera, I would say that most definitely there's differences between humans of the colour of their skin. However, I wouldn't say that there's differences between humans because of the colour of their skin. I feel like that's where the flaw in that statement begins, because you look at humans across time, without question, there's always, without fail, been differences from one human to another. However, when, let's say, a person with small amount of racial discrimination in their heart sees a difference between them and someone of a different color, that's where they tend to put down these differences. That's where they tend to put down these differences as a result of their difference of color.
Yeah.
So let's say right now I have a problem with someone who's also of the same skin color as me. Let's say I have someone who's, problem with someone who's white.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say I have that problem with them because of the fact that they're white. However, this is opposed to someone who, as I said, potentially may have some discrimination in their heart.
Yeah.
They got some, maybe that may be due to the fact that they haven't been around as many people of color during their lives, or people of another color. Could be black, could be white, anything. A lot of the time, people can tend to put these differences down to the difference of their skin.
Yeah.
And obviously, I say this a lot, but differences of skin are literally just that. They're literally just differences of skin.
Yeah.
Differences of cultures, differences of ideologies, differences of the way that people act. You can never put that down just to someone's skin color, because there will be different cultures.
Matters, isn't it?
It's always what?
It's what's underneath the skin that matters, like what they have inside, like who they are, how they treat people.
Yeah.
That's what matters the most. Like people become racist because they're taught it. Like they're taught to be prejudiced against certain people.
It's
whether
the way
that's through family, whether that's through the media, whether it's what the shit they see online.
So you think it's like the way that they were educated?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it might not be educated in the most malicious sense, in it, like some guy told them, "Oh, yo, you have to be racist from now on." It's not like that. Maybe it's just from what they've seen on the news, and then they just came up with a conclusion that that's how these people should be treated, and that's how I'm gonna act from now on. Shit like that, man.
Lauren.
And
Alex.
All right, Lauren, where you from, darling?
I live in Whitechapel, but I'm originally from Dorset.
From Dorset. Okay, Alex, where you from?
I'm originally Polish. I came here as a first immigrant.
Okay.
But I live in Leytonstone.
Okay, Polish, chest.
Cześć, dzień dobry.
That's all I know. All right, guys, I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions. Are you guys okay with that?
Yes.
All right, cool. So question number one, I'm gonna start off with you, darling. Yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever been stopped by the police?
I personally haven't. No.
You personally haven't?
No.
Have you ever experienced being stopped by the police with people that was around you?
I actually haven't. No.
No?
I haven't. No.
Okay,
Not at
cool.
all. Not at all. I think that's not being in London for too long.
Okay. Have you ever been stopped by the police?
I personally haven't, but many of my friends have.
Yeah.
In fact.
Yeah.
For like even at clubs, like they've been targeted specifically. And out and about as well, they have been targeted specifically.
Okay, cool. Question number two, what do you think about black people getting killed by American police?
I actually think it's horrific, and I think it's so sad that like you see all these like names of like black people that have been targeted by the police, and you see like kind of white people being let off under like kind of mental illnesses and stuff, and I just think it's so wrong, and everyone should be treated with the same kind of treatment. So yeah, basically I just think it's very, very wrong.
What about you?
I think, don't even get me started on this. It's obviously horrific, and America isn't the only country that it happens in. It happens in the UK, but everybody underplays it so much. And I personally think that the capitalist system inherently is built on racism. It's built on making somebody basically, can I swear?
Yeah, you can.
Feel like shit, basically use them and abuse them for their own profit.
Okay.
Which is what our like economy, our whole entire world is based on. Capitalism. It targets people who they think are lesser than them. And basically picks on them. And I think it's horrible. I don't think it's horrible. Like it's worse in America because I think they're like allowed to do more by like the Constitution because it's so loose.
So they get away with certain things.
Exactly, whereas you wouldn't be able to get away with as many things here. And I don't think it's because people are less conservative here, but I think it's because the law kind of restricts them to,
a little bit
to be able to do that. But I think it's just as bad here as it is in America. Like it's worse in America, but it is bad here. People completely undermine the issue. Like it's not an American issue, it's a worldwide issue.
And we were talking earlier about like how like America itself kind of like is like and like the nation itself hasn't like created it. When we've been going into small festivals and stuff, like the person that's getting searched is always kind of like of an ethnic minority.
And when you see that like once, you're just kind of like, oh, it could have been anyone. But when you see that all the time, like, and when you've seen like a black person on the side with the police, like, and he's being stop searched, but yet you've got like, I don't know, like, you know, friends that have got stuff in their pockets, but because they're white, they're not getting stopped. Like, you know that you can get through security, but like, if you were with like someone of an ethnic minority, they wouldn't necessarily get through. Like, I think in that sense, like, and that's where like young people see it a lot. And I think the stuff that happened in America, like, you would never see like a white man with his fucking like knee on like a white person because apparently they've paid, what was it, like a forged banknote, like you would never see that. And I think like this guy wasn't even resisting like or anything, and I know it's one of like thousands of cases, but like it's a case that has like become worldwide, and I think it's a case that actually like you need to see the video to realize that this stuff actually happens, and this stuff just needs to stop. Like, it's just like, I don't even know how the guy just stood and like filmed it. Like, I would have like stopped that guy filming, man. Like, it was horrendous.
But
like,
white people can get away with murder because they're white, because they're mentally ill or this and that. There's always
like when
an
you
excuse.
see a terrorist and like they're like, oh, they shot someone, but they're mentally ill, so it's okay. Like, maybe a black person's mentally ill, like, get them help as well. Like,
they're portrayed in the media in a different,
like,
in a different way.
And maybe the white person was just actually someone that needed to be locked up.
There are white supremacists that are like fucking bonkers, but you know, they're white, so they can get away with it, and they're not portrayed as bad as everybody else is.
And I think for every, like, I think as well with the media, for every good person, no, for every bad person there is a good person. And I think for the media itself, like, it does pick and choose what it wants to like kind of like portray. And I think the media itself is very pro-white, and like we see what we want to see essentially in the media. Like, you can look at the coronavirus, for goodness sake, like, it's been they've portrayed it how they wanted to portray it, and I think it happens in every example. But like this thing all coming to light in the protests and stuff, I think it's just a realization that there is a need for change.
But also, I feel like white people are the problem. Like, you may think you are not racist, but you do things which you might not realize, like racially discriminate against somebody. Like, even the smallest way that you act, I think, like, you can say you're anti-racist, but that's not enough saying it. You need to actually take positive action to change the world. Like sure, posting on social media is great, but you actually need to do something, actively change the world, because it's not enough. People are dying out here. Young black men, young black women are dying because they're black. And that is not fucking okay. And people think the issue is resolved from like Martin Luther King and like Black Panthers. No, it's just more hidden now, and it's more underground. But I think it's worse that it's like hidden, and they're like trying to make it a secret when it's blatantly racist. I might sound like some crazy communist, but like capitalism is the reason for this. I don't think humans are purposefully like racist. They're taught to be
it's like
that way.
You know, it's quite bad. Like, that has never crossed my mind to think because my skin color is white, I might not get the job. Whereas like, and I've seen posts, you know, on Instagram, obviously since everything's a rise, and I've actually sat back and thought, oh my god, like, you know what, like, that is white privilege. Like, that really is. But like, and you don't realize that
it shouldn't take young black men to be murdered to realize that though. But
that's the horrific thing about it.
Exactly. But it clearly does in our society, because people don't think deeply enough about these problems, which is fair enough. Like, you've got your own problems to think about, but like, this doesn't just affect you, this affects your peers. Like, this affects the entire world. Like, the world would be so different if we just didn't have capitalism. Fuck capitalism. Fuck capitalism. Get rid of it. Restart the world, and it would be different.
My last question, guys. Do you think there are differences between humans depending on the color of their skin?
Yeah, like.
Why'd you say that?
Well, we've just like gone on like a rant. I don't think there's actual differences, but I think what we're taught makes there feel like differences. Like as we were discussing like earlier, like, I just don't like ever come across someone and think, oh, your skin looks darker than mine, or like anything like, oh, you like worship this religion. I never that never crosses my mind that I'm speaking to someone like that. And if anything, like coming to London for me has made me like understand so many more religions, so many more ethnicities, and like opened me up to like so many more, like just everything, like and I sit there and I think, like, I understand why people that haven't been open to it are kind of like narrow-minded in that sense, and that's no fault of their own, don't get me wrong, because you can't pick and choose where you're brought up, but I think it's narrow-minded to not go out and understand other people for who they are. So in that sense, but I think you need to I just think you need to go out and you need to like just make friends with whoever comes into your path, no matter who they are.
What about you?
I don't think there's a difference between people of different races or anything. I think if something's a different in culture, but that has nothing to do with your race, that has something to do with like the way you're brought up, and the way you're brought up doesn't necessarily mean like it doesn't necessarily like follow the race you are, like for me that is like nothing, like I think it's important to see people of different races, ethnicities, nationalities in like jobs, because it gives people from those backgrounds hope that they can be like as great as those people are. And it shouldn't be like that, like you were saying, it shouldn't. You should be able to get to places you get to because of how good you are, but there is like there's good and bad things about positive discrimination, and I know it's kind of like going off topic, but like it's good that people are seen in these top jobs, but it shouldn't take that much.
Have you been stopped by the police?
Numerous occasions. I can vividly remember. Age 11, school uniform. Went to a local comprehensive. For a lot of activity per se. If you went to Forest Gate, you know about the activity. Big up all my people that went to Forest Gate Community School. So initially, stopped and searched by the police. Wasn't a pleasant experience. Being stopped in the roads. Reason for the stop and search was there wasn't really a reason. It was just the fact there were 5 police officers, and they happened to hop out of a meat wagon and virtually said, "Yeah, we're going to stop you today under section so and so." And lo and behold, they didn't find anything on me. But then again, the police are doing their job, so such is life. So at the end of the day, with time, I've grown to understand, show some sort of understanding in regards to stop and search. But
Cool. Question number 2, what do you think about black people getting killed by American police?
Oh, well, controversial question there, mate, don't you think? In regards to black people being killed by police. First off, you need to find out about America and America's founding fathers. America is based and built on inequality. So in a sense, you've had the natives. The natives are now, of course, when the Europeans came over, dismantled the natives. I'm not too sure how that's happened. They've taken over the land and they brought together slaves. So in regards to the police killing black people, I would virtually say that it's systematic racism. It's endemic in American culture, from health from health, wealth, education, justice. For black people in America, to say there is justice, there isn't any. Unfortunately, we can say that the government at hand in America at the moment aren't dealing with minorities, especially black people within America, justice at all. There is no justice for them, which is sad.
Alright, cool. Question number 3, have you ever been racial profiled in your life?
Yeah, a fair few times. I've been stopped while driving. Mate.
How did you feel?
To be honest, I've got nothing to add, so I don't understand. I don't understand why they stopped and searched me. It wasn't really a stop and search, it was more of stop and count. I've been racially profiled whilst driving. I've been racially profiled whilst flying as well. I've been double searched. I've been told come to the side. I made a visit to the States not too long ago. I was asked how did I afford my ticket, where was I staying.
Wow.
To be honest,
how did you feel as a person inside? Like, did you feel betrayed, hurt?
Initially, I was disappointed, but after a while, it's water off a duck's back. I'm used to the racism. I wouldn't say used to it, but I know how to handle it now. I've faced racism a fair few places, but then again, it's the small, minute people. So what can we do? I'm not gonna tarnish anyone due to the fact of one singular or multiple experiences that I've felt. But generally, I can never say racism is going to die. It's a thing that's present within our society. We just need to educate people to eradicate where we can.
Yeah. All right, good answer. Question number 4. Do you believe police are only targeting black and coloured people? Or do you think this is propaganda created by the media?
Targeting black and coloured people in regards to what? Can you give me more context?
In terms of like, do you think black and coloured people are being targeted in different type of aspects in life? As in the media, all you see is Asian people are defined as terrorists, black people are defined as criminals. But then if you look at the white people, they're just normal. For example, in America, there's so many mass killings that's done by a white person and they're classified as mentally ill. But then when a black person kills a fellow white person, they're classified as a gangbanger or maybe just a murderer.
I'll be honest with you, when it comes to the media, we lack ownership. As ethnic minorities and as black people, we lack ownership. And the media is a powerful entity. It will make the terrorist seem a victim and the victim seem the terrorist. When, to be honest, one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. You can look at South Africa's apartheid, or you can look at Palestine, what's going on between the Israelis and the Palestinians. So in a sense, I'll be honest, the media is there to brainwash, but then again, they're there to sell, they're there to market and sell. And at the end of the day, we as humans, unfortunately, we thrive on negativity. In regards to the media, of course, you've got the Rupert Murdoch Corporation. These people are just throwing out information and people are reading into the propaganda. Unfortunately, people feed into the narrative because they haven't come across somebody of an ethnic minority. Certain parts of the UK have been, how can I say, there ain't that many ethnic minorities within that sort of place. So if you're not around these sort of people, educated or taught about these sort of people, or open-minded to understand the different sort of people that we have in this world, then certain form of ignorance will prevail, unfortunately.
Cool. 3 more questions and I'll be out your way. Right. Question number 5. Do you think police brutality happens only in America, or do you think it happens in the UK? If so, do you think they're only targeting black and coloured people only?
I'll be honest, police brutality happens all over the globe. Wherever there's a government or some sort of, how can I say, governing system, you're going to have people that are oppressed and you're going to have people that will prevail at the top. In regards to police brutality, I would say yes, it's definitely extreme. Or well, I would say it's extreme. Or there's a negative perception towards black people, especially within the men in uniform, unfortunately. What can I say in regards to solving the issue? I'll definitely say the people in uniform definitely need more education, or they need to come from the community itself in order to understand the underlying issues that's going on within those sort of environments. So I'll give you an example. London, you've got people within the London Metropolitan Police that don't even live in London. So how can they really police London and really know the diversity and the ethnic backgrounds that are in London? Because at the end of the day, London is a global hub and you meet all parts of the globe within London. And if you've got, how can I say, one demographic policing all these sort of people from all different ethnic backgrounds, there's going to be some sort of miscommunication, and miscommunication does lead to conflict, unfortunately. So what can I say? Such is life.
Last question. Do you think there are differences between humans depending on the colour of their skin?
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. For somebody to spew some sort of negative... No, ask me that. You're gonna have to edit that out. Ask me that question again. That's a very good question.
That's okay. Right. Last question. Do you think there are differences between humans depending on the colour of their skin?
Definitely not. We all bleed blood.
We
all go to the toilet. We all communicate in our own sort of ways. For people to be separated or differentiated by the colour of their skin or ethnic background or religion or anything else to divide. Definitely not. In the space of humanity, we need compassion, kindness and empathy.
Okay. And one more last thing. What would your message be to racism? Like, what would you say to a racist person?
I'd say go explore the world. Go meet people. Go meet somebody from a different social class. Go meet somebody from, I don't know, working class, underclass background, to somebody who's a bourgeoisie or someone within the aristocrats of society. Just meet people, find an understanding, connect. Racism, very petty, very small-minded, very minute. The racist mind is very minute. You can't even see it. So,
Thank you very much for your time, brother.
Much appreciated.
What do you think about black people getting killed by the American police?
Absolutely awful. I think it's disgusting.
Okay, elaborate.
Well, just everything that you see at the moment with George Floyd, but like, it's way more than that. Like, I just feel like the media coverage is a lot, but it's good that it's a lot because it's shining a light on it.
Yeah.
Like, I just think it's awful, and I think that the police are not, like, the police that murdered George Floyd literally were just fired. They weren't even arrested.
Yeah.
Like,
justice hasn't been served so far.
Yeah, no, and it's disgusting.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, like I think it's disgusting. I think that for someone in such a high position that's meant to keep the community safe and make them feel safe is just they're just taking the piss on the authority of it actually. Like it's disgusting and shouldn't be happening.
Also in Australia, are you guys facing the same situation? Are the Australian police targeting like the coloured community or no?
I think the Indigenous race in Australia, I think that is frowned upon a lot by Australian police a lot more than it's kind of spoken about.
Yeah.
I think especially like small Indigenous communities, I think they are definitely like the police definitely put a lot more pressure on them than they would just as like anyone else.
Question number 3: have you ever been racial profiled in your life? No. So I'm gonna do you think police brutality happens only in the United States of America, or do you think it happens in England, also maybe Australia? If you do think so, do you think they are only targeting coloured people?
I think it really does depend on where, like in the UK, yes, I do think it happens.
Yeah.
Brutality, I don't like put my hands up. I don't read enough about it, especially in the UK. I think anything that happens in America is a lot more like bigger in the media.
Yeah.
I've seen people get racially profiled everywhere, like my whole life in the UK.
Yeah.
Whether it's police brutality, I've never seen that. Yeah. I've not seen it a lot on the news, but I really doubt that it happens a lot in the UK.
Okay.
We're not allowed guns, so
yeah.
Like that's a huge thing that doesn't happen. But I do think there is definitely some sort of imbalance.
Do you think racism happens in the UK? Do you think, or do you think racism is in the UK, but it's not just exposed compared to certain countries like the United States?
Yeah, I definitely think it's in the UK, 100%.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot more unconscious than people believe.
Yeah.
I'm not from London. I'm just from outside of London. I think people are a lot more open-minded when they're in London because you're in such a multicultural environment.
Yeah.
But I have definitely been to other counties in the UK where they will label people of colour the wrong labels. They will, point someone out in a crowd and say, well, they probably have drugs on them or something like that. Like, I definitely think
they treat you different.
Treating differently. There's 100% racism is ingrained within society still, even if it's just subtle, unconscious. We've got a lot of work to do, but I do definitely think it's in the UK.
What about you? What about in Australia from your experience?
I think it's everywhere. I think no matter what country you go to, I think it's always going to be happening, and whether the media does bring it to light or not is a completely different thing. I mean, I think that I think it's just everywhere.
Okay.
So I don't think it's still racism. Like it doesn't differ. Like especially police with the way they treat people, and I think that there's a very fine line of how they do treat cultures and
different.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you for participating.
Thank you.
Pregunta dos. What do you think about black people getting killed by the American police?
It's savage. It's really, really savage, and it's really sad. This news that we have been getting, and it's not the first time that happens. And it's like every time we're trying to fight for equality, and we're trying to prove that race shouldn't be different, but there's so much obviously that is still there, and people that are still being treated differently just because they were born with a different color, and that is really, really sad.
I agree. Question number 3: have you ever been racial profiled in your life?
Not that I'm aware.
Yeah.
Or I remember. So I feel like if I did, it must have been something small that didn't make any damage on myself.
Okay.
For me to remember.
Okay. Question number 4. Do you believe police are only targeting black people or coloured people, or do you think this is propaganda created by the media?
I mean, my dad is a police officer.
Okay. Oh, is he?
So,
all right.
So
okay.
I was raised differently.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know that one thing is what it should be, and I know other thing is what it actually happens.
Yeah.
So obviously, I have my dad that is a good example that he acts according with the law, as far as I know, obviously. But he gave me a good education, and if I treat everyone right, I believe he does as well. So I feel like injustice, it happens all over, but it's not everyone doing, but they exist.
But the question is, do you think they're targeting black and coloured people, or do you think it's created by the media?
I think some people they do.
Yeah.
I think media will try to generalize just to create a bit of a show, but not just about this subject. This is what media does. Media likes to get everything bigger and bigger and bigger just to make like a big news. So things happen, and there's some part of news that I think they are on the right side and they do a good journalism and they're really there, and I think some of them they're going to just be sensational. Kind of.
Yeah. All right. So question number 1: have you ever been stopped by the police?
Yes.
Okay. Have you? Yeah. All right. So I'm going to start off with you first, because you're a female. Why did you get stopped by the police?
I think just because I was in a large group.
Can you speak a bit louder, please?
I was in a large group.
Okay.
With my friends, and they felt that something wrong was going to happen.
All right. I want you to elaborate that. So basically, you was in a large group with your friends.
Yeah.
So your friends, what ethnic background were they? Like the majority, like where were they from? Were they coloured people, or were they white people?
Many.
Okay, cool. And what was the reason why you got stopped by the police?
Which time? I mean, I've been stopped many times.
Okay, and can you give me insight over the amount of times you've been stopped?
Over 10 times.
Over 10 times. And why do you think that was?
Because I'm black.
Because you're black. Can you elaborate? Why do you think? Is it because the way you was dressed, or what?
So one time in particular.
Yes, sir.
I was stopped with my brothers.
Yes, sir.
And I was in a predominantly white area in Essex, in
Okay.
Romford. At that time, it wasn't really as mixed as it is now.
Yeah.
We got stopped outside of the main shopping centre, and their excuse was there's somebody going around, there's a group of boys going around stealing phones.
Yes, sir.
So that was their excuse, and then it was all friendly, it was all cool. They pulled me to the side because he said that he felt like I was the ringleader.
Yeah.
I don't know why, maybe because I was the tallest.
Okay.
And then a bully van turned up, and literally about 10 officers jumped out, and then it just got a bit more aggressive and physical. So then they pushed me up against the wall. They were asking me for weed, for knives, for
Was you by yourself when this happened?
No, I was with my brothers. So, but I got separated from my brothers because they felt like I was the ringleader.
Okay.
So it was, I think, 4 of us in total. So they stopped all 4 of us and they said, look, there's somebody going around stealing phones.
Yeah.
It was all friendly, and he pulled me to the side. He goes, because you look like the ringleader. It's all friendly. We just want to know what's going on. And we're like, look, we just came from McDonald's.
Yeah.
Once the bully van turned up, that's when they just got a bit more aggressive with it, and it was more like, where's this and where's that, and then that's how it kind of.
And they were being aggressive towards you, right?
Yes, very.
Okay, and when they were being aggressive towards you, did they use any form of language, any offensive language towards you when they were being aggressive towards you?
No. I mean, it was weird because, as I said, they started off saying that there was phones going around being stolen.
Yeah.
So if they searched us and found more than one phone, then it could have questioned that.
Okay.
But maybe that was just a way of just telling us to get us to stay there and talk.
Yeah.
But no aggressive slang or offensive words. So.
Okay. Question number 3. Hold on a minute. Question number 2. What do you think about the black people getting killed by American police?
I just think it's really upsetting.
Really upsetting.
Seeing the videos on social media, it's been quite overwhelming. Seeing all that's happening in the world and no one's really trying to stop it.
For me, it's disgusting.
Okay.
I think it's straight up disgusting.
Yeah.
I'm disgusted and I'm confused because obviously you see the retaliation, right? You see what happened with the Mark Duggan stuff over here in London. You saw how everyone started looting. You kind of have you have to weigh up, and you may look at it from this isn't a way to kind of retaliate to certain things, but then you may look at it from another angle and be like, well, what else are we supposed to do? So that's why I say I'm confused, because I try and sit there and think to myself, what is the best approach? Humane, and then obviously moving forward to try and better things. But it's just sickening.
Okay. Question number 3. Have you ever been racial profiled in your life? For example, you jumped on a bus and then people around you that are not coloured have treated you different because of your age. So you go to school, has your teacher treated you different compared to your other fellow colleagues?
Well, from when I was younger in school, especially because I went to a mainly white school. Most of the teachers were white there as well, and I felt like I was receiving different treatment to any of my friends. And it's been a problem for quite a long time now. And I'm glad that I'm finished school now, so I won't be going back.
Okay.
But
how did you feel? Did you feel hurt? Did you feel upset when you felt racial profile?
Yeah, I was very hurt. At one point, I didn't really want to go to school because it was getting out of hand. And the teachers weren't doing anything about it. There was only maybe a couple of teachers that would sit me in their room, talk to me, calm me down, but not all of them.
Have you ever been stopped by the police?
Yes, I have. The first time.
Okay, what happened?
The first time I got stopped by police, I think I was about 14.
14?
About 14.
And how was your experience, bro?
It was horrible, to be honest.
Okay. What happened?
When I think back of it now, as a man, it was a situation where me and my group of friends, we were just chilling, having fun, and they came in a van. In a van, there was quite a few of them. There was about maybe 10 of them. There's about 4 of us, and they came quite intimidating towards us, like in a way like we had already committed a crime. So I was very shaken by the experience. Obviously I'd seen police around, but I'd never actually encountered them. So when they approached me, I was a little bit timid. I was timid at the time, to be honest. I was quite timid growing up. To be fair, it's only in my later years that I grew the confidence and had the courage to be a man. So in that situation, I really didn't know how to handle it. So I just complied completely. Whatever they told me to do, I'd done it. I didn't know my rights at the time. Didn't know how to defend myself. So I just complied. And why I say it was a horrible experience, because I felt like they came to intimidate, particularly to show their presence and to show their power. So that experience was quite horrible, to be fair, when I think back at it now.
How did you feel as a person? Do you think they stopped you because of the colour of your skin?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. I think it's an ongoing thing, and it's an obvious thing as well. That police stop people based on the colour of their skin.
Okay. Question number 2. What do you think about black people getting killed by American police, bro?
It's outrageous. Obviously, it's been going on for far too long. As far back as we can date it. I think it sets a really negative tone in the world community. As black people, it's very, very demoralising, because we feel like our life has less value. When I look at the situation from a British perspective, I feel fearful for my brothers over there, because I see them comply, and I've seen them act in violence and still get treated in a derogatory way. I don't think there's any way around defending yourself against police brutality in the moment. So I'm prayerful for them. My brothers and sisters over there.
Question number 3, brother. Have you ever been racial profiled in your life?
Yes.
How was your experience and what happened, bro?
Okay, well, I think the first thing that comes to mind is football. Playing football, teams I've played for growing up. I've had opportunities to play for some really good teams across the country, And I remember one experience, particularly when I was 17. I was at a particular academy, I won't mention.
Yeah.
And without stating the obvious, I was being racially profiled. I was being treated different to my mates on my team.
Yeah.
And it's just the thing that you kind of shrug off because you just want to get on with the situation. But after a while, when you look at it in hindsight, you see that you're treated different. You see that your opinion isn't valued as much. So, yeah, I've definitely been racially profiled. That's just one of many experiences.
How did you feel? Like, did you feel hurt, like deep down as a human being?
Yeah, definitely felt hurt.
Yeah.
But I think I felt more betrayed.
Yeah.
Because in the game of football, these are your teammates and people that you rely on.
Yeah.
But then somehow, outside of that, these same morals are not really integrated. And you would think that they are. You know what I mean? For example, when we look at like the English football team, that we have many black players in the team, the stars in the team.
Yeah.
And England will go to the World Cup, go to Euros, have black players in the team, everyone's cheering the team, amazing. We'll do well or maybe not, we're still cheering the whole team. Players now come back to their clubs and they're racially abused by their clubs.
Yeah.
So this is something that is apparent.
Yeah.
You know, we go to all these tournaments, these world tournaments, and then we complain about other countries about how they treat our players.
Yeah.
But then over here, what happens?
Yeah.
So again, I think I use football as an example because that's what I grew up on.
Yeah.
That's what I can relate to a lot.
Yeah.
And I think it's a very obvious experience that everyone's seeing as well. So I think it's a good example.
Cool. Question number 4. Do you believe police are only targeting black and coloured people, or do you think this is propaganda created by the media?
Okay, well, I don't think they're only targeting black people, but I think black people are the target.
Yeah.
Particularly.
Yeah.
I think in different types of ways.
Yeah.
I would say here in the UK it's more covered, it's more behind the scenes, it's not in your face. Like, you're not really gonna get people calling you a nigger over here in your face. Whereas in America it happens all the time. I think the racial profiling here is it's behind the scenes, and it's something that you may have to decipher. It's something that you may feel energy wise, and it's definitely still happening here.
Okay. Next question. Do you think police brutality happens only in America, or do you think it happens in the UK? If so, do you think they're only targeting black and coloured people only?
I think police brutality happens all over the world.
Yeah.
But why I think America is so highlighted is the whole shift to do with slavery, independence, democracy. So now the shift of time that's gone on, slaves are being controlled in a different type of way. You know, prisons, jobs. The racial profiling of slavery has been developed into something else.
Yeah.
So I think police brutality is just another extension of slavery in America, particularly. And why it's so widespread and so prominent is because of the whole shift of slavery and the development of it. Majority of it happened there, in America, taking out people from Africa, West Africa. So it's just a development, I believe, of what's happened from then till now. Police brutality.
And the last question, do you think there are differences between humans depending on the colour of their skin?
Differences?
Right, I'm just going to repeat the question one more time, brother, yeah? Do you think there are differences between humans depending on the colour of their skin?
I don't think there's difference in humans. particularly based on the colour of the skin. Obviously, people have different shades of melanin and people have different doses of melanin, but I don't think this differentiates or should differentiate you as a human. I think there's one human race.
Yeah.
That's what I choose to believe. I don't think any race is better than the other.
Yeah.
However, not everyone thinks like that, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right, cool. And if you had a message for racism, what would your message be to racism?
To racism?
Yeah. Or to racist people?
Or to racist people? I would say, right now, especially, you pretty much got the whole world fighting against you.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people now that is coming to their attention of why it's so important to create awareness about racism.
Yeah.
Which is unlocking the minds of the ignorant. So I think the fight against racism now is becoming even more intense.
Yeah.
I think racists are becoming very uncomfortable in their position because it's being diminished. And I think it's a fight that we have to stick together for. I would say black people understand who you are, understand where you're coming from, understand where you're going to. Don't think every white person is racist.
Yeah.
And maintain humility.
Okay.
That's what I would say.
All right.
Racism.
Do you want to give a shout out to what you do? Like if you're like an up and coming person.
Right. So what I do is personal training.
Yeah.
I extend people's lifespans.
Yeah.
For a living. I work with all types of demographics. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. I do other things, but that's the main thing I do. I don't want to make it too much about me.
Okay.
So if you are interested in personal training, then my Instagram, OneMcCary, is there. My YouTube page is up and coming as well, so look out for that. And I work all around London, in and around London, doing personal training, indoors, outdoors as well. So if you're into getting fit or staying fit or advancing your fitness, then I'm definitely the person that you need to be around.
Cool. Cheers for that, man.
No problem.